The Halifax Explosion 1917. In the early 20th century, Halifax, Nova Scotia was a bustling maritime hub, its harbor teeming with ships from across the globe. The city's strategic location on Canada's eastern coast made it a vital point for transatlantic convoys during World War I, a gateway for troops, munitions, and supplies bound for the European front. Halifax had grown rapidly during the war, its population swelling with soldiers, sailors, and workers drawn by the promise of steady employment. Despite the war's ever-present shadow, life in the city carried on, a mix of normalcy and quiet vigilance. But beneath the surface, danger lurked. The constant movement of ships carrying hazardous materials, especially munitions, meant that the harbor was a potential powder keg. Residents of Halifax had grown accustomed to the risks, but few could have imagined the disaster that was about to unfold. On the morning of December 6, 1917, the harbor was busy as usual. A cold, clear winter day had dawned over the city, with a bright sun reflecting off the icy waters. Among the many vessels navigating the harbor were the ships that would soon be at the center of a catastrophic event. The first was the *SS Mont Blanc*, a French cargo ship arriving from New York. Unbeknownst to most in Halifax, the *Mont Blanc* was carrying a deadly cargo, a volatile mixture of picric acid, TNT, benzol, and gun cotton, all packed tightly in its holds. These explosives were intended for the war effort, a grim reminder of the global conflict that loomed just across the Atlantic. The second ship was the *SS IMO*, a Norwegian vessel leaving the harbor bound for New York to pick up relief supplies for war-torn Belgium. The *IMO* was larger and faster than the *Mont Blanc*, and as it navigated through the narrows, a tight section of the harbor, it moved at a higher speed than was customary, trying to make up for lost time. As the two ships approached each other in the narrows, a series of miscommunications and misunderstandings set the stage for disaster. The *IMO* was on the wrong side of the channel, a violation of maritime rules, but the captain believed he could pass the *Mont Blanc* safely. The *Mont Blanc*, realizing the danger, tried to signal the *IMO* to change course, but it was too late. Despite desperate maneuvers by both ships, they collided at 8:45 a.m. The impact itself was not catastrophic, but it triggered a chain of events that would lead to one of the most devastating explosions in history. The collision caused sparks that ignited the benzol stored on the deck of the *Mont Blanc*. Fire quickly spread through the ship, reaching the highly explosive cargo and the holds. Realizing the imminent danger, the crew of the *Mont Blanc* abandoned ship, rowing frantically towards the Dartmouth shore, shouting warnings in French that few understood. As the Mont Blanc drifted towards the Halifax shoreline, a thick column of black smoke rose from the ship, visible across the city. Curious onlookers, unaware of the lethal danger, gathered along the waterfront to watch the burning ship. Firefighters rushed to the scene, trying to extinguish the blaze. Children on their way to school, workers in the shipyards, and residents in their homes all turned their attention to the drama unfolding in the harbor. At 9:04:35 a.m., the Mont Blanc exploded. The force of the blast was equivalent to approximately 2.9 kilotons of TNT, making it one of the largest non-nuclear explosions in history. The explosion obliterated the Mont Blanc, sending a shockwave through the city. Buildings were flattened, windows shattered, and debris rained down on Halifax and Dartmouth. The explosion was so powerful that it created a tsunami in the harbor, and the pressure wave was felt over 200 kilometers away. In the immediate aftermath, chaos reigned. Fires broke out across the city, fueled by the debris and wooden buildings that had been shattered by the blast. Entire neighborhoods were leveled, and the air was filled with the sounds of screaming, the cries of the injured, and the ominous crackling of flames. The once thriving city of Halifax was reduced to a smoldering ruin, with thousands of people caught in the devastation. The human toll was staggering. Approximately 2,000 people were killed, many of them instantly, while over 9,000 were injured. Thousands more were left homeless, their houses reduced to rubble. The explosion had struck without warning, leaving a deep scar on the city and its inhabitants. In the midst of this devastation, however, stories of heroism and resilience began to emerge. First responders, despite the destruction of their own fire stations and the loss of many of their colleagues, worked tirelessly to rescue survivors and extinguish the fires that raged throughout the city. Medical personnel, overwhelmed by the sheer number of casualties, set up makeshift hospitals to treat the injured. Ordinary citizens became heroes as they dug through the rubble to pull their neighbors to safety. Amidst the ruins of Halifax, the international community rallied to provide aid. Relief trains from across Canada arrived within hours, bringing doctors, nurses, and supplies to a city in desperate need. The city of Boston, in particular, played a crucial role, sending a relief train that arrived the next day. This act of kindness forged a lasting bond between Halifax and Boston, one that is commemorated every year when Halifax sends a Christmas tree to Boston as a gesture of thanks. As the fires were extinguished and the dead were buried, the people of Halifax began the long process of rebuilding. The disaster prompted significant changes in how dangerous goods were handled and transported, leading to improved safety regulations that would prevent such a tragedy from occurring again.
The Halifax explosion left an indelible mark on the city and its people. Memorials were erected to honor the victims, and the stories of those who lived through the disaster became a vital part of Halifax's collective memory. Today, more than a century later, the story of the 1917 Halifax explosion is remembered as a testament to the resilience of a city and its people in the face of unimaginable tragedy.